Okay, I'm back. So we'll consider this part two of maybe I'll put that previous 15 minutes as part one. This will be part two. So basically, just to summarize, I'm going on a two-track here, like I do a lot, But so I'm talking about Miss Chris Monroe, who I'm supposed to be in court with tomorrow, and this gentleman at the shelter that works for the Salvation Army, who has basically told me that I cannot go back there for 3 days because I hurt his feelings. I don't know why I'm laughing at it. I'm going to suffer. But anyways, it's related in some ways because sometimes the way I explain myself might be a little bit abstract, but I always tie everything in together, like with my music, right? Anyways, so it's really a two-track, right? So I went to court with this woman, and the paperwork was flawed. There was she wasn't even listed on it. She was trying to act like a lawyer for other people who supposedly were in fear of me. Okay, I mean, really, this is ridiculous. This is all they ever have. You have to understand this. It's a script. They will attack anybody and say how vicious they are. They're scaring me. They're hurting my feelings. You can't defend yourself against that. That's the whole point, see? And the more people that agree with this is what the bigger danger is altogether. So anyways, I had the woman in front of the judge and I removed any special protections that she thought she has. So now she's going to be facing some charges because I have to go to court tomorrow. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the woman ultimately had to become the victim. First, she's in there saying, hey, how everybody in the house is afraid of me, that I walk around with a 12-inch blade, and that the neighbors are afraid of me. Right? Judge says, well, I don't see your name anywhere on here. She says, are you a lawyer? She goes, no. She goes, well, you can't represent these people. If somebody in the house has a problem with Mr. Borden, then they're going to have to come in and do this process. Same thing with your neighbors. If they have a problem with Mr. Borden, they got to do this process, right? Well, I'd love to get the neighbor in across the street or whoever he is. But I'll get to that. Anyway, so she tried to get me to take money from another guy in the house under her so-called rules. She does not have a program. And other people have believed her con. I moved in there because it was expedient. And I wanted to get work. And this guy was willing to pay me while he trained me to do some short order cooking. Right? So I said, what the hell? I needed money. And he said that he knows everybody. His name is Michael Grappa. He was on the Food Network channel. Let me tell you, this guy is a piece of work. I mean, I can't be the only one that can see these people. I mean, am I some kind of rare man that I could see who these people really are? Are these people, or all these people living in a fantasy? A person gets to create who they want. And another person says, well, I ain't seeing that. That ain't who you are. And then the other person says, oh, you hurt my feelings. I have a right to be who I am. You have to treat me like X, Y, and Z. Now, what is this? What is that? Now people are forcing you to recognize who they are. For what purpose? To feed their psychopathy or whatever their psychology detriment may be, or however you want to classify it. Okay? The point is that these people are trying to outwardly force their pain that they're perceiving inside their own body onto other people, right, in the corporeal world, and are willing to actually cause harm to them. And this guy at the shelter, right, Travis, I think his name is another one, just like this woman. Different sex, different story, whatever, but it's the same person. He has to win. It's just a matter of time what the guy's going to pull. So let me go back and explain really quickly about the first incident. And what it was is, I watched them take it in, chain of custody, and I watched them put it in the drawer. So the woman's not finding it, or the guy's not finding it. And I said, no, it's in there. But he doesn't know his boss is going to fuck with me, right? This is where the trick is. This is the con. See, he's not going to bring this other guy into it. He's going to get into it with me, and then he's going to sucker the other guy into believing that I am what this guy is portraying. I mean, this is what these cons, there's so many in Colorado. I don't know if it's the radiation or if they're raised like, hey, if no one's looking at it or if there's no one near it, it's yours. I mean, they'll take it. I had so much shit stolen from me. I've never seen anything like it. I turn my back, it's gone. Sunglasses on a bench. I get up to walk around for a couple minutes. They're gone. The guy's sitting there. Hey, it was my, I don't know. Oh my God! All of a sudden the glasses become animate, right? So, anyways, everybody's trying to impugn my character, right? Because I'm challenging this woman now. This is a side issue with respect to what's happening down south that I got a federal court. But people have to understand I'm on edge. I don't really personally care if I could prove beyond a reasonable doubt that somebody's trying to pinch my ass. If I did, I'd be dead already. Well, you just have to be aware of these things and take note of them and be concerned until, the time comes where you have to act, to be very cautious. That's the prudent thing to do. That's how you stay alive. Okay? You can't say that's some, adverse psychopathy on my part or whatever the case may be. Right? Because that's not so. So anyways, number one, what I got is this guy is sitting in the position of power, right? He wants to screw with me, right? Because the day before I told him that, I needed to remind the people in charge that my caseworker is over at this other shelter and I want to keep her, and it's still the Salvation Army. So if you could remind them. But he wanted me to tell them this whole story. I said, well, I ain't going to tell you that. What do you mean? You disrespected me. I'm like, listen, dude, I ain't gonna tell you the whole story. Just tell him I told the woman the whole story, and I just want to give him a heads up that I need to make that communication, right? I'm a reasonable person, right? People piss me off, they piss me off, but that doesn't mean I'm not a reasonable person anymore, right? That just means I ain't gonna take your bullshit. It's ridiculous. I'm 61 years old now. I don't want to hear it. This fantasy that everybody wants to live in. I don't live in that fantasy. Maybe I'm not the one with the problem. Maybe I'm the one in reality and everybody else is walking around stroking each other so that nobody even knows who they are. They just know what their roles are and what they agree to, whatever that mantra may be. Like the COVID. These people in Colorado still don't want to fucking meet the public. They don't even want to answer the phone. They want to be they just want to be letters at the end of the screen. It's what they want to reduce you to, because it makes their life more pleasant, I suppose. They don't want to, so they aren't seeing you as a citizen anymore. They're seeing a piece of paper with words on it. They have nothing else to go by, because they haven't actually looked at your flesh and blood and tried to judge your character for who you are as a person and how you present yourself. That means nothing. So it's not that far of a road to go, right? To just, just have this mantra, whatever it is, cancel these people because of this, and this, right? Because people have become so disconnected from each other that they can't even tell a narcissist from a regular person. And they wonder why things go wrong. Because these criminal minds take over everything. They don't care if they get caught. They don't care about nothing, right? And there's so many of them. They're born every day, all right? And when I run up across them, I got to do what I got to do. I mean, I'm trying to take care of business. I mean, I'm not going to give you anything special. I'm not going to say, oh, how beautiful you are, whatever. I'm here to do this transaction. If for some reason there is an attraction, so be it. But that's not often for most of us. And when it does, the two people know it, and that's nobody else's goddamn business. right? They keep their fucking noses out of it. But anyways, I'm pretty locked down now. They can't hurt anybody, so they can only hurt me now, right? I have no girlfriend, I have no children, I've had no wife. I told my family to go fuck themselves. They're just relatives. So they just get me now. So what ends up happening is, get the woman in front of the judge, stripped her of all the special protections she thought she had in her fantasy program. She doesn't have a program, she doesn't even have a business. She just paid $25 or whatever she paid for a piece of paper. And we already went through that in court. So she's open to the crimes. And they know that. The question is, what are they going to do now? Like I told you, they've been stamping on everything I'm doing. Excuse me. So, I got, this guy started a problem with me over at the storage place, his dog, right? I complained about it because, hey, listen, I got to let people know that, that dog is dangerous to anybody because he triggers it. Dog's growling at my nutsack. I told him, this isn't going to happen so much, I got a fucking 6-3 blade in my nutsack. Right? I didn't say it like that, but listen. I told the guy, I said, if something happens and you get kicked out of here, don't go blaming me because you see me. Because they're not going to put up with you sleeping in this motherfucker. Right? And they're not going to put up with that dog. So the woman was agreeing with me, and they were all friendly with me. This woman, Tina, for Green Box Self-Storage. And then this other woman, Amy, Green Box Self-Storage, never seen before. Okay, new employees. Tina said Tina said she saw me a lot. And I said, what, are you spying on me? I've never seen you before. She probably thought I was kidding. I wasn't. How the hell do you have an eyeball on me to come and tell me you've seen a lot of me? You must be watching the camera. Well, why am I a target? Why do you see me a lot? That's a lot of film you got to go through to find me. People make statements like that. That raises a flag to me. I think that's justified. These other people, they don't see that. Because they just do what they're told. They're dummies. They don't think. Whatever it is, whatever the culture is, let's just go with the flow, people. Go with the flow. That don't work for me. Right? Again, I'm pathological. I can't do that. I don't like to play pretend. I don't like clowns. I don't like anything like that other people might think is normal. But to me, it's deception. It's just the way my brain is wired. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't trust people like that. And I don't suggest that anybody else trust people like that. Especially people who tell you what you can and cannot say. And who you can say it to. Those are very dangerous people. Okay, and they're the people running things right now. Right? So getting back to this morning, that guy again comes up, right? So, he's a narcissist. He has to win. He's not going to give up. So I'm waiting to see what he's going to do. Right? Most of the time what they do is they try to get under my skin and start an argument with me. Right? And, I try to keep my calm, but I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to say, oh, no. Guy don't want to tell me his name. He's a fat fuck. He won't tell me his boss. Listen, what are you doing? I'm not your servant. I'm like, when did I ever say you were my personal servant? But this is the job that you chose to take. You can't then come in here, right, and act like, you're a victim of the people in here. That statement is a statement of victimhood. Like, we're making you a slave or something to do that job of yours. This is how absurd these people are. And they're causing me pain and suffering. Okay? So I'm talking to this woman, Carrie, over at the Salvation Army, who was supposed to be my case manager, right? And she wants to start, get into some legalese with me. I said, now, wait a minute. Try and tell me this woman's got protections, right? I'm like, no, she don't. Well, I've done family. I've done this. Listen, that's okay. This is why. And I tried to explain. Then she cut me off. And now that's where I have a problem. Everything was fine as long as I was taking direction from her. Again, not a narcissist, but part of the program. You're either with them or you're not. That's how they think. Not a bad person, not a narcissist, but yet she's part of the crew. And it's them against the homeless guy. Who's going to win that battle, right? Well, I'm going to put up a fight. All right? Because they put me in the spot. I shouldn't even be here. I should be getting my Social Security by now. But anyway, so what's the guy do? 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm down there because I got to go outside, to get on a van to go see if I can get some day labor. I mean, I can pick up trash, that's about it. But they said I could do that, so. Anyways, so I asked for my blade. I want to see it. Before I leave the building, I want to make sure they have it. They can't find it. I'm like, no. I says, you got to find it. I want it now. And they said no. And they're looking. They don't know where it is. Right? And you're talking 15 minutes now. I said, why don't you check over there? Now, see, this is the problem. You don't just put weapons anywhere. Right? And so what this guy does, like a lot of them, right, is they slap you back in the face with your own logic. This is what they're thinking. All right? You see, the woman at the house, she started a complaint against me. But she has a pathology. She's a narcissist. She doesn't even consider the fact that she committed crimes. So by calling me into court, by making the complaint, I'm going to fuck her over. Not because she brought a complaint against me and I'm making shit up. That's what this guy is doing. Right? So they get this information, because I ain't afraid if they know it. I'll tell them everything I'm fucking doing. I don't care. I got it so nailed, it's ridiculous. The judge is going to have to be totally fucking corrupt. All right, totally and utterly corrupt. You went to law school, you're a lawyer. Believe me, I'm going to make it easy for you. All right, or what's she going to do? Tell me I can't say anything? I can't even defend myself? Because when I defend myself, crimes are going to come out against this woman. Now, this other guy, what? They think they're smart. They know each other to some extent. I suppose this is their social structure. They don't even care if they know the person that much. But if you had a problem with me, they want to know that person. Right? So that's what his argument's going to be now, right? The woman at the storage place. She says, well, I brought a complaint against the guy. Well, I said, how does that make me now a problem for you? Well, we don't want to do this. Put me in another building. Oh, we don't have a spot. Put me on another floor. Well, listen then, I'm leaving. And then I get a thing posted on the door saying they kicked me out. I told them I was leaving. I'm not going to argue over a $45 storage place when I have stuff to put on another place. This woman actually wanted me to get along with this guy. I mean, get along. I'm like, what do you mean fucking get along? This ain't a social club, man. It's a fucking goddamn storage unit. I store stuff here I can't take other places. And I pick stuff up and I go about my business. I mean, it's incredible, right? People don't even understand the things that they're saying to me. It's like they think I'm something else. The things that they say, right? So anyway, this is going to be a long one. This was like 20 minutes now. But anyway, so they did the same thing. They're not showing me the knife. And then so he comes along and he knows where the knife is. But he didn't tell the other two people, or they're in on it, I don't care. Doesn't matter. My whole argument that I try to make to them is when they take custody of a weapon, that is a very important responsibility. There's no, we don't know where it is. There's no, where is it? You know where it is at all times. Every day. You have it. There is no, I don't know where it is. So I say that to them, and they take that as an act of violence because they're children. Right? They can't handle being wrong. They have no humility. They never learned it. You know, Christ is in my heart, but I don't believe he was a God. He's in my heart because his message is about humility. To understand that you are not the most important motherfucker, right? But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that you should give away your fortune and be a pauper. You know? I mean, come on, people. I'm a reasonable man. So, the guy's giving me a fucking hard time, and I'm telling him straight up, no, you're giving me the hard time. You're withholding my weapon from me. Oh, no, we didn't lose it. It wasn't lost. I'm like, well, listen, I've been here for 20 minutes now trying to get my weapon. Okay, what do you call it? They couldn't find it. They wanted me to leave without it. There's no way around it because I'm a logical person. I don't do nonsense. So anyway, so he says I can't go back there now, right? What? So I said, see? So he's like, wants an apology, right? So I said to myself, all right, I guarantee you I'll apologize to the guy, and that's not going to be good enough. And I know a lot of you people out there run into this, and I'm telling you it's because they're narcissists. It's not any kind of communist mantra or anything.